You're listening to The Ethan Bearman Show.
And welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Ethan Bearman. Studio number is 800-259-5791. Email radio@ethanbearman.com and visit blog.ethanbearman.com. I have a link to Mr. Daryl Davis's book. He's a musician, actor, but author of Clandestine Relationships, A Black Man's Odyssey in the Ku Klux Klan. You need to go pick up a copy right now. This is an eye-opening, mind-expanding book that you are going to want to read. Now, Mr. Davis, tell me a little bit. Now, you've had quite the number of encounters now of reaching out to racists. I mean, it's just very blunt. You got to say it what it is. They're racists. Is there any real common thread in their backgrounds that you think has led them to this type of belief system?
Well, the only common thread, Ethan, would be lack of exposure to other people. Because, a racist, a Klansman, a neo-Nazi, whatever, even black racists, black supremacists, these people are not stamped out of standard cookie cutters. They come from all walks of life, all educational backgrounds. I know, oftentimes we see them on TV shows, we don't have to name the TV shows, but the ones where they throw chairs and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. What they do is they get the third grade dropouts because, they're going to get ratings. But they come from third grade dropouts all the way to presidents of the United States. We've had presidents of the United States who've been members of the Ku Klux Klan at one time or another. Supreme Court justices, for example, Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black was a member of the Ku Klux Klan before he joined the Supreme Court. The late senator who just passed, last year, the year before, Senator Robert Byrd from West Virginia was a Klansman back in the 1940s. We've had governors, doctors, lawyers, all kinds of things. So it's not any standard of education, but I think what the common thread would be lack of exposure to difference. And
so what do you think is the best approach then for kind of breaking that? So let's say, somebody's already an adult. It's one thing to say, go take your kids out and go meet other people, right? But so now let's say we know somebody who's 35 years old, who's never, left their county and is in this rut. What's the best approach to kind of breaking this?
To reach across the aisle, to go sit at somebody else's table in the cafeteria. Sometimes people self-segregate, and that does not mean that they are necessarily racist. Like, you take a metropolitan city, let's say Detroit or Chicago, D.C., whatever. You have all kinds of different people, working in a company, and some of them, are working on the same project. They might even share the same cubicle. But what happens at 12 noon, they go downstairs to the cafeteria for lunch, and the blacks sit with the blacks, the Hispanics sit with the Hispanics, and so forth and so on. That does not mean that they are racist necessarily. People tend to gravitate towards, familiarity, so they feel more comfortable with people who look like them, who maybe speak the same language, etc. But it's up to us to walk across that cafeteria and sit down at somebody else's table, because we all have something to share and we all have something to receive. Because each of us is a puzzle piece, and until we interlock those jigsaw pieces together, do we have the beautiful picture.
Wow, that is a great answer. I mean, it's simply forming human bonds, that connection between people, and establishing them between different ethnic and cultural groups.
Exactly.
Wow, and now, are you doing? Is there any other public speaking that you have going on right now that people could go and see you besides the book?
Yeah, I speak all over the country. They can go to my website, which is Daryl Davis, and Daryl is spelled D-A-R-Y-L, only one R. DarylDavis.com, and they can find my music schedule and my speaking schedule there.
Well, Mr. Davis, I want to thank you so much for joining me here on the show. And again, I encourage everybody to go out and pick up a copy of Clandestine Relationships. I have links on blog.ethanbearman.com. You can visit DarylDavis.com as well. And I'm looking forward, by the way, I've seen all these pictures of you with famous people. I'm looking forward to getting my picture taken with you next.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Ethan, so much.
Daryl, thanks so much.
Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Appreciate that. Wow. And if your station carries the second hour of the show, we have a whole other hour coming up. We have NSA, we have Super Volcano, Machine Politics, and Culture Buzz. I'm your host, Ethan Bearman.
You are listening to The Ethan Bearman Show.